Ladies and gentlemen, so we continue by multiplying polynomials here, okay? So in this case, we have two terms, 4x plus 1 times three terms, 2x squared plus 1 plus x plus 1. So we have a binomial times a trinomial, which is different than what we had in the previous videos when we were doing the multiplication of two binomials, for example, two terms times two terms. So this one is different. Okay, but let's see how we can deal with it. So we have a nice challenge here. So we take 4x times 2x squared. So what is 4 times 2 is 8. And then x times x is x to the third power, because anytime you multiply the variables, you add the powers, correct? So that'd be 1 plus 2. Then we go this way. 4 times 1 is 4. And then x times x is x to the second power also, because it's 1 plus 1. All right, so far so good? We're not finished because 4x got to multiply everybody. So nobody has to be left behind, okay? So we have three terms here. So 4x got to multiply all three. And the same thing we're going to do with the 1. So 1 also will multiply all three. You get it now? Okay? So 4x times 1, which is 4x, all right? And then now we can have the 1. So 1 times 2x squared, which is plus 2x squared. And then 1 times x, which is plus x, okay? And then 1 times 1, which is 1. All right? So something that somebody can also do is to take the x and put it underneath this one, and then put it outside, just to conform with the like terms. But it doesn't matter. So let's go now. So we have now to combine like terms, okay? So 8x to the third has nobody to play with, okay? So it stays the same. 8x to the third. Now, what happens to the 4x? It can be combined with 2x to the second power, okay? Because both of them carry the same family name, which is x squared in this case. So 4 plus 2 is 6, then x squared. Remember, when you add or subtract the variables, you do not change the powers, okay? And then what else can we combine together? So we have 4x here that we can combine with x here. And the 4 is a positive number, and then the 1 over here is also a positive number, so it just makes life a lot easier. So it's 4 plus 1, which is 5, so 5x. And then what else do we have? We have 1, which is by itself. So 1 has nobody to play with, so 1 is back by itself. All right? And ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the first problem. So you see how this is? It may look, weird, a bit crazy, but it's not. You just have to take your time and then get things done. All right? So that's for the first one. So let's go with the second one, which looks a little more, interesting. Okay? So also we have three terms here, which is a trinomial, and two terms here, which is a binomial. So let's go at it. So we have 5x squared that we multiply by 3x. So what's happening is 5 times 3 is 15, and then x squared times x is x to the third power. All right? And then the same 5x squared has to multiply then negative 2y. So that gives 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And x squared times y is just x squared y. Because both of them are different variables. You just put them together like that, that's it. Now, let's continue. The 3xy has to multiply x. What would that give us? So that would be 3 by 3 is 9. So it's 9x squared, then y, because you have x here and x here, that becomes x squared. Because you're multiplying, you add the powers, and then you just carry the y because it has nobody to play with. And then the same 3xy multiplied by negative 2. So what would that give us? That would give us 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and then x, and then y times y is y to the second power. Are you guys with me? Okay? But we're not finished, because remember, we use the first, then the second term, we got to use the last one also. So that's negative 7y squared times 3x, so that would give us what? Negative 21, x then y squared, and then we go negative 7y squared times negative 2y, so that would give us what? Positive 14y to the third power. Okay? So it's negative y squared times negative 2y. That will give us positive y to the third power, okay? And now we will see if we have anything to combine together. Is there anything that we can combine together, to work this one, to make it a lot easier, look nicer, okay? So we have these two because they carry the same variables, right? So these two can be combined together. We bring down the 15x to the third because we have nothing to do with that. We cannot do anything with it, so we bring it back. So negative 10x squared y plus 9x squared y, that would give us what? Negative 1 or negative x squared y, okay? So you can put the 1 if you want to, but as we keep going, becoming professional and specialists in this, we don't need the 1, okay? But if you want to put it, you can put the 1x to the second power y, all right? And then the next one is these two. So we have these two here. Okay, I carry the signs in this case now. So we have negative 6x y to the second power and then negative 21x y to the second power. What would that give us? Negative 6 and negative 21? Both of them carry the same signs. We add or we keep the sign. So we end up with negative 27 xy to the second power. And last but not least, 14y to the third has nobody to play with. 14y to the power 3 cube has nobody to play with. So we keep it like that. And then there's nothing else to combine. This x squared y is not the same thing as xy squared because sometimes it may look like it, but it's not the same. All right? So this is your final answer, ladies and gentlemen. We good now? Okay? You take a look at it, you go back, you do it, you take your steps again, step by step, take your time, and then you'll get it done. Okay?